Hey, this is Joe Bakhmutsky. I'm the creator of Simplified Cancer. And look, I know that with treatment, every ache, every pain is magnified, is blown out of proportion because you can't help but think to yourself, is this cancer? Is it growing? Has it spread? Or is this a side effect? And what's that going to do to me? Or is this going to interfere with treatment? Does this mean that I'm going to die? And what happens then? I mean, what have I done with my life? I mean, one scary thought just triggers another, and you're on this downward spiral where you can't stop thinking about it, and things just get out of control. So I think what you really want to do is take the emotion out of it and replace it with logic, so you can look at things in a calm, rational way. That's it. You really want to gain control over the situation, and you want to look at it methodically and just work through it step by step. So, and this is what I want to share with you today. My 4-step process of kind of differentiating between whether this symptoms, whether it's cancer, whether that's unrelated pain, whether that's a side effect, but most importantly, getting the peace of mind that you know what's happening and that you have an action plan in place to deal with it. So the first step of this 4-step process is your sanity check. Again, we want to put this out of your head and get it out on paper in front of you so you can analyze it and really look at it, see it for what it is, and deal with it. So I think the best way to do it is using what I call the outcome map. It's really easy to do. You just get a piece of paper, and in the middle, you write down whatever is bothering you. That could be a specific pain or ache. So you just write down what it is. And then around it, write all the possible outcomes, all the things that it could be, right? Just take 30 seconds and write out all the things that it could be. Now take 2 to 3 minutes and just work through all of them, all of those possibilities, and think, well, how likely is it? How likely is it that this is, cancer spreading, or maybe it's an unrelated pain or something like that, and put down this likelihood as a percentage. So put down whatever you realistically think the likelihood of this is. So spend 2 to 3 minutes doing that, and when you're done, just take a minute to kind of just look through it all, because again, you've untangled all of your emotions. It's just in front of you. You can see it for what it is, and now you've analyzed it, and now you can kind of say, well, what is the one thing that I'm going to do about this today? Right? What's the one thing? What can I do about it today to get some sense of control over this? Because let's be honest, you've taken this uncertain situation, you've looked at it, you've analyzed it, you weighed things up, and now you're going to decide on a course of action. So the control is over to you. That's the first step, your sanity check. The second step is really what I call your survivor check. I think this is crucial, and it's just such a thing that many people miss because they just don't know about it, right? Because whatever stage of cancer you're at, or whatever treatment you're going through, the reality is you've got a number of people who've been through this before. They've been in this situation. They've experienced what you are experiencing right now. And while it's great to talk to your specialist, to your medical team, but there is nothing like talking to someone who's been through what you're going through right now, who's experienced it in real life. So wouldn't it be great to talk to someone like that, to kind of give you advice and just tell you what they think this is and get their perspective? Well, of course, you can't just walk out in the middle of a street and talk to these people. So how do you find them? Well, I believe that the best way to find these people, of course, is online. Because it's folks like you and me, and they kind of go online to find answers and get together and share their experience and learn from each other. So it becomes like a community, right? So these communities form around, a particular type of cancer where, people get together, they ask questions, they answer questions. It's like your own personal support group. So it's really important, I think, to get in, ask your questions, and there's people who are going to get in and help you. And you know what? They know what it's like. They've been there. They know what it's like to be scary, to be lost, to be confused, to not know what the hell's going on, to be sitting there wondering what's going on. Is this cancer? Is this a side effect? Is this something, totally unrelated? And what can I do? Right? So how do you find these communities? Well, the best place to do it is just really online. You can search for them, or you can just grab a list off my website. It's completely free. I put together this thing called Online Community Guide. It's got top 3 recommended online communities for most cancers. And you can just grab this PDF from my website. If you go to simplifycancer.com, and you go into the tools section, you can find the online community guide. So once you find a community that's right for you, it's kind of like a discussion forum. So people put up a discussion topic, which is typically like some sort of a question, and people answer, right? Multiple people can answer. And what's really cool is that you can get answers in a matter of hours. So it's fantastic because whenever you've got this worry, you can put it up and you can get the perspective from people who've been into this situation before, right? And just one thing to keep in mind, that when you are putting up this topic, it's kind of like an email, right? Where you've got the topic title is kind of like the subject line, right? So you want it to be instantly stand out to someone who's been in this situation. So something like first round of BAP chemo, back pain. What is it, right? That's pretty specific example of what you can put in. So someone who's been in in this particular situation, they can look at it and say, oh yeah, I've been there, I know I can help. Let me just jump in and contribute. And they can click and read the rest of it, read the rest of the detail where you describe your kind of situation, what happened. And that's where they contribute the most. So I think you want to make it really easy for people to see what is the area where they can help out the most immediately, right? It's really easy to tell from the topic title what this thing is all about. So once you're going to get this perspective from someone who's been there before, it's going to help you as well, right? It's going to set your mind at ease, or it's also going to put you on the path to decide what to do next, right? So this was step 2, your survivor check. Next up is step 3, your specialist check. Now, you might have a gap between the time that you see your specialist, whether that's your oncologist or your surgeon, whoever that might be. There might be a gap between the next appointment, the next time you're seeing them. So now could be a really good idea to call up the hospital or call up the rooms and say, look, I've got a problem that I need to talk to doctor, whatever the name is. Could I speak to them as soon as possible? Can I get an appointment? And if they set up an appointment in the next day or two, that's great. But if he or she is really busy, then I think you should ask, well, what is the other way I can get in touch? Is there a phone number or an email, right? Because I think this is something that, again, you can get in touch with people, and most specialists want to hear from you. They know that you're going to have questions. So just ask, what is the way to get in touch with them to get this resolved? Is there someone else that can help at this hospital? Maybe another specialist, maybe another urologist, or oncologist, or surgeon, or maybe there is an oncology nurse. Is this something that potentially your family doctor can help you as well? Another incredibly underleveraged resource is your cancer nonprofit. Chances are that wherever you are, you've got large organizations that are typically set up by government, funded by the government, that have a whole bunch of services that help out people like you and me, help out people with cancer in all sorts of different ways. Now, something that I didn't know, and I think that most of us don't know about, is that so many of these great services we know nothing about. So the best way to really find out how they can help you is to ring up the hotline and ask, and they will direct you in to the right person or the right service, because typically they have all these fantastic services that can really help you right now. They can possibly put you in touch with an oncology nurse who can kind of talk you through what's happening. Maybe they can put you in touch with a different hospital, with a different specialist. There's all sorts of things that they can do, but we just don't know, right? So I think the best thing to do is ring up a hotline and ask. If you're in Australia, there's Cancer Council. You've got National Cancer Institute in the United States. There is Macmillan Cancer Support in the United Kingdom. There's all sorts of great organizations that provide fantastic services that can help you right now. So just ring up and ask. So that's step 3, your specialist check. Now on to step 4. And I think it's incredibly important to get your supporters on board, to check in with your true supporters and talk to them. Talk to them about what's bothering you right now, about this pain or ache. And yes, they may not be able to give you specific advice because they're not medical experts, but they're going to be there to just listen to you, right? Because it's tough, and people who truly care about you, they get it. They understand that you worry. They understand that you're concerned. So it's okay to bitch. It's okay to moan. It's okay to vent and just say, look, I don't know what this thing is. What should I do? And just they're there to listen. They're there to be there for you, to support you through this really difficult time. So just let them in and talk about it. And that alone is going to make you feel better. So when you run through these 4 steps, when you go, do step 1, which is your sanity check, where you put down things on a piece of paper in what I call an outcome map, where you put down whatever your problem is, you write down all the possible outcomes, you assign the probability, and then you decide on one thing that you're going to do about it today, right? That's the first step, your sanity check. So you've taken out the emotion and you kind of replaced it with logic. So now you can examine it and deal with it in a calm, rational way. Step 1. Then step 2 is your survivor check. This is where you find an online community around your type of cancer, and you put up a question that is really easy to understand. And the people who've had this experience, who went through your treatment, people who have experienced this, they can share their advice, they can support you, and they can give in their perspective about what that could be, which can then really help you. Right, that's step 2. Step 3 is your specialist check, where you call up your specialist office or the hospital and say, well, I need to get in touch with them ASAP. Can we set up an appointment ahead of schedule? Is there any other way for me to get in touch with him or her? Is there any way that I can talk to my specialist over the phone or over email? Is there anyone else that can help? Perhaps the oncology nurse or my family doctor? Who is the person that can help me right now? And then, of course, leveraging the cancer nonprofit and the fantastic services that they provide. Just ring up the hotline and say, I've got this problem. who can I talk to? And chances are they're going to put you in touch with someone you can talk to about this right now. They can forward you onto the service that can really help you and take care of you. And last but not least, step 4 is checking in with your true supporters, people in your life that care about you. They're there to listen to you and not really judge you, just be there and listen. And I think that's what we all need in difficult times like this, when you're going through cancer treatment, when you're dealing with cancer. I hope it's been helpful. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you think. My name is Joe, so send me an email. My email is joe@simplifycancer.com. That's JOE@simplifycancer.com. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you soon.